What's up, YouTube? Yeah, this is my second recording for the day. Yeah, this is DJ Kryptonite here, talking boxing again. Um, it's funny how um, folks are saying Errol Spence is not the same after this car accident. Uh, Looks like he's experiencing some difficulties after that car crash. And I, I can see that, and the only thing that I see is I see a more vocal, a more outgoing, a more not confident. He was always a confident fighter, but I do see a more uh, uh, not. He's just a little different. Not to say he's out the pocket in any way, but he's slightly different. I know he's a lot more outspoken for sure because he didn't really post a lot, give a whole lot of interviews. He didn't really do a whole heck of a lot of that. But now he's putting himself out front, and he wasn't as much so, if that makes sense. Um, which I don't have a problem with. But he is a bit different. He's a bit different. I don't know if it's some of his words are a little, his enunciations are a little different, the pronunciations, and I think that's probably because he probably had reconstructive surgery on his mouth. I'm sure I think he had some teeth that he had to get surgically implanted and that sort of thing. His jaw was kind of messed up pretty bad. So just the sound or the tone of his voice is much different, and I think that's probably due to the implants and the surgeries that were associated with it. But I hear people talking that he's a little different. I think he is, and for somebody to experience something as horrific as getting into an accident as he did in an exotic vehicle where he got thrown from it. Nobody knows. I don't know if it was ever actually public information how fast the guy was potentially going. He was probably going over 100 miles an hour, and the car flipped, and he got thrown through. Though that kind of damage is probably permanent. He's not. That's experience for him was as if he was in probably 10 boxing matches, 10 hard boxing matches. So I don't expect him to be the same guy, but I do expect him to beat Danny Garcia. I do expect him to beat Danny Garcia. Only I think an 80% Errol Spence is better than 100% Danny Garcia. That's just my take on it. Danny Garcia is a flat-footed fighter, very strong. I don't know if he's naturally a 147 guy, but I think he campaigned better at 140. I believe. I think 140 was where he was a beast. But at 147, he's a top tier, but bottom top tier. So he's not really a great 147. He's decent. He's a good 147. So, but in the mix of all of the other good 147s, he's the bottom of that tier in my opinion. That's just my opinion. But I think 80% Errol Spence should get him. Should take it to him. Probably get him out of there. If not, beat him up pretty bad. Because Danny Garcia is a counterpuncher. He sits flat-footed. He sits and waits for opportunities. Errol Spence is going to give him those opportunities. But can he could he hurt Errol Spence? Yeah. Will he hurt Errol Spence? I don't know. I just can't see that happening because Errol Spence can take a punch for one. Errol Spence is a very crafty, strong, moving forward type of boxer. And Danny Garcia, if Errol Spence fights Danny Garcia like he fought Sean Porter, I think Danny Garcia is gonna have a long night. Sean Porter is that he's kind of an aggressive fighter, but I think Danny Garcia can get overwhelmed. I think he can get overwhelmed by a pressure fighter. And I think Errol Spence can put that pressure on him and make him fight off of his back foot. And if he's fighting going backwards, Danny Garcia can be dangerous because that hook is pretty dangerous. As that's all the time. That's his meat and potatoes. That hook is a monster. However, fighting off the back foot, that punches are just not the same when you're fighting backwards. And I think Errol Spence is going to put enough pressure on him where he's going to have to fight moving backwards. And I don't know if that's ideal for him. So that's just my take on it. But again, I know the question was out there: is Errol Spence the same guy? He's not. He's not the same guy, and he won't be. I just hope he's not. I hope he's ready to fight. Hopefully, he's not coming back too early. Not to say that I think he is, but I hope he's coming back at a good time. He's picking a good. He's picking a dangerous fighter to come back off of this accident. That'll test him to see where he is. And after this fight, I think everybody will know where he is. I think we'll know is he still the same guy. I just know that physically or emotionally, he's probably not the same guy, but I think he's enough to still dominate the welterweight division. So, but I think his biggest test is going to come at some point when he steps in the ring against Terrence Crawford, and I think it's a toss-up, but I'm leaning more towards Errol Spence in that fight. So, so we'll see. I just wanted to share that. Like I said, have a great day. Make sure you guys are practicing social distancing and being mindful of others. You know, staying healthy in this pandemic is the most important thing. So, let's get it.